Kailash. Yeah, it talks about the glories of Kailash, the dham where Lord Shiva stays. Description of his anger. Yeah, okay, so I'll present my screen. Before that, I'll uh, offer my prayers to Guru Maharaj. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantakam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजना सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पदा सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च नमा ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so I'll present my screen. Figuring it out, just a second. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, and my audio clear? Should I change my audio device or something like that?
No, it's good enough, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So, let's jump into the section. So, heads up. So, in this section, there's a lot of action, and uh, the end part of chapter number 6 is where Lord Brahma is praying to Lord Shiva. He's glorifying him and then asking him to the forgive the uh, people his army killed. And so, interestingly, in the section, the purports were very interesting, and there were a lot of juicy points which could have been brought up. But while reading, I saw that Prabhupada, whenever there was a whenever there is a dialogue where Lord Shiva was talked about, in the translation, Supreme Personality of Godhead was used, right? And the tenth offense of holy name is that name of Lord Brahma or Shiva should not be not ten offense. Sorry, the first one, I believe, right? Sorry, one of the offense that the name of Lord Brahma or Shiva should not be equal or independent to Lord Vishnu. So I was just confused that why here Lord Shiva is being called as the personality of Godhead, right? So that made me research on the topic of who really Shiva is, and from Vaishnava philosophy, what is his position, and how should we approach him, right? So I will touch upon the summary of section of chapter number 4, 5, and 6, but then I'll talk more about the Shiva Tattva, like the personality of Shiva. And I believe it's very important for the devotees to understand because there have been instances in the past where, prasad from Shiva temple has been dishonored, or going to Shiva temple is considered abominable. So yeah. So the first is recap. So in chapter 4.4, Nupur Mataji very interestingly and expertly took us through the section where we saw that Daksha is performing great sacrificial ceremony, and he deliberately excluded Lord Shiva. So Sati, who's wife of Lord Shiva, hears about this sacrifice, and she was deeply pained, and she felt insulted that her husband was not called for this uh, sacrificial ceremony. And despite Shiva's clear warning for not attending the ceremony uninvited, Sati still goes to Daksha's yagya, and as a result of that, the Lord Shiva was openly blasphemed, and Sati was ignored and dishonored by her own family. So, seeing this, she was really disturbed and she couldn't tolerate the offense to Shiva, and she chastised her father and the people who were in the assembly, and then she gave her body through yogic fire. So, that is what we have read till now in chapter 4.4. In chapter 4.5, what we just read is that Narad Muni went to Lord Shiva uh, in his abode, who was sitting in his abode in Kailasha, and he told that Sati burnt herself by her yogic fire, and that disturbed Lord Shiva a lot. So Shiva created a demon, Veerbhadra, who was called as the personification of of the anger of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he was ordered, Veerbhadra was ordered to kill and destroy Daksha's sacrifice. He was ordered to kill Daksha specifically. And then Veerbhadra and Shiva's followers storms the sacrificial arena, and they destroy it completely. And after destroying it, they offered specific punishment to specific people, and this detail is very important. Bhrigu's mustache was torn, Bhaga's eyes were removed, Pusha's teeth were knocked, and Daksha was beheaded, and this head was offered into the fire. So, why this is important? Because the specific actions they performed to disrespect Sati, uh, those specific actions were considered while giving them punishment, and this was explained. And while reading the translations and the purports, what I was able to also recall is that if we recall Draupadi's Chirharan, in that ominous assembly, the kind of punishment given to the people was also very relevant to the actions they have performed in the assembly. Like, for example, Duryodhan, he was tapping his thigh, asking Draupadi to sit on them. So his thighs were beaten, was torn out by Bhima, and similarly, Dushashan was pulling Draupadi with the hands. So hands are connected to the chest. So chest was torn, and the blood from the chest was used to wash Draupadi's hair. So it's very uh, poetic, but also well served justice that the people are given the punishment very specific to the actions they perform in such kind of adharmic assemblies. Right. So then moving on to chapter 6 summary. So in chapter 6 till now, in chapter 5, Daksha is dead. The entire sacrificial arena is over, and then now the devtas are afraid of the fury of Lord Shiva. So they turn to Brahma for shelter, and they go to Brahma, explain him what happened, and they prayed to him that please save us from the fury of Lord Shiva. And then Brahma first chastises the demigods, and then he says that the only way we can save ourselves or this universe is by pleasing Lord Shiva. So on the advice of Lord Brahma, the entire Devtas, the group of Devtas and Brahma went to Kailasha, where they saw that Kailash is so beautiful, right? So it's described that the waters, Ganga river is flowing in Kailash, and there are numerous medicinal plants over there in on the Kailash, and it was like heaven. And Lord Shiva, on seeing Lord Brahma, he offers his respect. And then this shows how submissive and calm Shiva was after chastising Lord after chastising Daksha, right, by killing him. And then after receiving the glorification from Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma requests him to be merciful and restore Daksha and other priests and sacrifice to the original state. And he just pleaded for his mercy, in short. Yeah. So that was chapter 6, right? So in this so that was a summary. So now I'll move into the main content. Before I move into the main content, talking about the glories of Lord Shiva, about his position, I have a question for you. So just to make it more interactive, so which name of Lord Shiva do you like the most? Lord Shiva has many names. We all must have heard many names. So you can type it in or you can unmute yourself and speak. That's okay.
Ashutosh.
Ashutosh, yes. He is very easy to please and he gives boons very easily. Ashutosh. Bhutnath, Bholenath, yes. Bholenath because he is very innocent, childlike innocence, which is a crest jewel for all the devotees. So yes, he is Bholenath, innocent. And Bhutnath because he is the lord of all the Bhutagan. Yes, that's true.
Gopeshwar Mahadev.
Gopeshwar Mahadev, yes, yes. So Lord Shiva is eternally residing in Golokadham as Gopeshwar Mahadev, uh, as a Kshetrapal, yes. Kailashnath, is that what Nitya Mataji is saying? Kailashnath? Yes, Kailashnath. Yes, he's the Lord of Kailash. And we heard so much glory about Kailash Parvat, where he's staying, right? So interestingly, just another quick digress. So, you must have read the glories of Kailash. Everything is so perfect. And then we've heard about the glories and the picturesque description about Goloka. What is one thing which was very evident to you, right? Good weather, plants, birds chirping, bees humming, everything is same. But what is the main difference, starking difference, which if any one of you could able to spot?
Difference between, sorry.
Goloka and Kailasha.
Oh, there the demigods and all, they would come for enjoyment and everything, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So this was one thing which I noted is that in Goloka, even though the damsels, they are so beautiful, and they are married to Vishnu Dutas, like I'm talking about all the spiritual world, right? So they are married to the Vishnu Dutas, like the Vaikuntavasis. Yet it is written in Srimad Bhagavatam that they are not sexually agitated. They are very calm, composed, and totally involved in the service of Sri Krishna or Narayan, depending on where they are, right? But in Kailash, it is written that once the the devtas, after having the love ceremony, they come and wash themselves in the water of Kailash, and that water is taken by the elephants, which make them crazy and they want to procreate, right? So in Kailash, the circumstances are such which will agitate the material senses and it will make you do procreation or involve in activities which are otherwise not there in the spiritual world. Right. So that was one difference which I saw. Thank you, Jagannath Gopal Prabhu. And thank you for all the people who answered. There are so many names of Lord Shiva. There is Mahadeva. There is, uh, uh, yeah, there are many. Okay. So the next question is, you know, in chapter 3, we saw chapter 2 or 3, I'm not sure, 4.2 or 4.3, we saw that Lord Shiva, he was not at all enraged by Daksha's curses. You know, Daksha, when Lord Shiva went to another yajna performed by Daksha, he did not pay his obeisances. Lord Shiva did not pay his obeisances, and that acted as a trigger for Daksha to blaspheme Lord Shiva. He called him that you are untidy, ugly, you are unhygienic. Many such statements were made by Daksha, but Lord Shiva was totally calm. He did not take any offense, and in fact, he just walked out and he was as peaceful and as calm as an ice. But then, now in this section, we see that, as soon as he gets the news of his wife being burned, and as soon as he heard about uh, how the people in the arena behaved, he immediately was so enraged that he called upon the best of the demons to kill Daksha. Right. So, what do you think might be the reason behind it? Is it just the pain of losing his wife, or is it something deeper?
I guess the pain of losing an innocent devotee of the Lord
Yes, Prabhu.
was close to him. I don't know,
Definitely.
just speculating.
Definitely, Prabhu. That was indeed one of the reason. But I was reading Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's article on this, and what he said is that the devotees, sometimes when we talk about strictness, we always say that one has to be strict with himself, but lenient with others. Similarly, when we talk about chastising or teaching a lesson, so we should be tolerant if some harm or insults are being pulled against ourselves, but because that's the principle of tolerance. But how much can we tolerate if somebody is assassinating or killing a fellow devotee? Will you still be tolerant? No. Will you still be tolerant? No. So similarly, Lord Shiva was able to understand that Daksha was so hard-hearted and he was so full of envy against Lord Shiva that he did not even see the innocence and the the turmoil which was going on within Mother Sati at that point of time, and he just ignored her blatantly, which led Sati commit, you know, suicide. I don't want to call the term suicide, but yeah, that is a suicide, right? So he was so infuriated that what kind of envy is it that a father will ignore his daughter so blatantly in public? So therefore, he wanted to teach Daksha a lesson. He wanted to purify him actually, and therefore he sent out for his best of the demons to kill him, and they successfully did kill him, right? And in the end of the section, you'll see that in the end of chapter number 6, you'll see that Lord Brahma is saying that, "Oh Lord, please take your share of sacrifice and please restore your mercy." But that is not even the problem, right? The share of sacrifice, yes, it is a big offense if Lord Shiva's share of sacrifice is not offered to him during the sacrifice. But even more than that was the softness of Lord Shiva's heart, that he was so disturbed losing a devotee uh, and a wife so chaste, right? Okay, so the next is, as per Vaishnava's philosophy, what is the position of Lord Shiva? Right. So Lord Shiva, he is a very interesting personality in the Vedic system, and he's full of paradoxes. Lord Shiva, the word Shiva means all auspicious, right? He is called all auspicious, yet we see him surrounded by the most inauspicious things. Do you know what is the ash on the body of Lord Shiva? Where does that ash come from?
The burial, not burial, sorry, the
Yes,
crematorium.
yes, from the crematory, right? So in Vedic culture, if you visited a crematory, if you are there to offer your last goodbye to somebody, so right after coming back from a crematory, you have to take a shower. You have to purify yourself. You cannot just enter in your house, right? So, but Lord Shiva is known as most auspicious, yet he is covered from the ashes of a funeral pyre, right? And then he is surrounded by ghosts. His favorite disciples, or not disciples, but his association is ghosts, goblins, right? And he always dwells in the cremation grounds. So that's one paradox. Then the other one is in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that if you want to be a perfect yogi, you have to be a celibate, right? And the greatest yogi is Lord Shiva, but yet he is an ideal householder. So that is another paradox. Then another which I observed is that from this incident of Daksha and Shiva, we can see that Lord Shiva can easily be angered, yet he can easily be pleased. So, in one moment, he was so angry that he wanted to kill Daksha, and once that was done, he was so pacified that after seeing the Devtas who were present there, after seeing Lord Brahma, he was totally in his senses. He was so sense controlled that he offered his respects to Lord Brahma, and then he um, and then in the next chapter we'll see that he was also pleased by their prayers, right? Then there are two more paradoxes which I'm gonna go in deeper. One is that Lord Shiva as creator as well as destroyer. How can he be a creator and destroyer? And second is how he is detached yet compassionate. Right. So we see that Lord Shiva, he's sitting in on Kailasha, snow-clad mountains. Right. He's just wearing the deer skin and he's just meditating on Lord Vishnu. Right. So he's so detached, yet he's so compassionate because his type of preaching needs a lot of compassion. He is actually in association of the most difficult kind of beings in the entire material manifestation, and he's taking charge of them, he's taking care of them so that they can have a better future, right? And yet he's so detached because he does not want to have a house, he does not want to have a palace, he does not want to have any designation, right? So that was all about the introduction of Lord Shiva. But now the question is, as per Vaishnava philosophy, what is the position of Lord Shiva? Any guesses? Wild guesses? Who is Lord Shiva for us? Is he just another demigod? Okay, Nitya Kishori Mataji says he's the prime most devotee of the Lord. Right, he is the prime most devotee of the Lord, and yes, that's true. Any other? Yeah, that's the most common understanding for Lord Shiva's position, and that summarizes essentially everything. But there are details to it which I would like to talk about. He's the greatest Vaishnava, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. That's true. So there are more details to it. So, as per the Vaishnava philosophy, what is the position of Lord Shiva? So, the first is, as everybody guessed it correctly, Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, chapter 13, verse 16. It is said that Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, out of the Gangas, there is a verse. I can open it, but in summary, it says that Lord Shambhu is the best of the devotee, right? But there is more to it. in Bhagavad Gita 14:4, when Lord Krishna says, Aham Bijam Pradapita, which means that I am the seed giving father, the Srimad Bhagavatam at that time explains that it is Krishna as Shiva who is the seed giving father. So, to support this, everybody knows about Kalidas. He's a very well-renowned Vaishnava poet. And before writing Raghuvamsa, where a poem where he's explaining about the lineage of Lord Ram, he offered his prayers to Lord Shiva, and there he wrote as Jagata Pitrau Vande Parati Parvati Parameshwarau. That means that I offer my respectful obeisances to the um, parents of the universe, which is Parvati and Lord Shiva, right? So here the important thing is that how Shiva is the seed giving father. We need to really understand this. So um, this is a repeat, sorry. So yeah, so how Lord Shiva is the seed giving father to the entire universe, or how he plays that role. So right, so now Krishna, as you know, that Krishna is there in the spiritual world, and he is enjoying all the exchanges with the devotees. He's there concerned with Radharani being angry. He's concerned over there with his cows not returning home, or his concern over there is to ask the peacocks what their favorite song is, and then play that song on the flute. So he's totally immersed in the nectarian pastimes of Golokadham, and he is enjoying to the fullest, right? But at the same time, in the material creation, there are a section of people like us, right, who are troublemakers. We are in the prison, but because Krishna is already there enjoying with his devotees, with the law abiding citizens, then he is not concerned with the material creation at all. And the example here is like, for example, you have a lot of uh, activities to perform. You have a job, you have food to cook, you have a kid to take care of, you have a wife to take care of, right? And then if you have one more task, like to take out the trash, so the best thing for you would be that you can invest in a help, and that help can help you take that trash out, right? Because you would really want to spend more time with your family, you would really want to spend more time with your kid, you would really want to more spend more time in the actual job you have, right? And therefore you can let the household chores be taken care by somebody else. Similarly, Krishna is not at all concerned with the material creation, with the material world. He is very happy in the spiritual world, right? But at the same time, we also know that Krishna never comes in contact with Maya. So and the praman for that is Srimad Bhagavatam 174, Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranhite Male Apashyat Apashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Cha Tad Apashrayam. So that means that wherever there is Maya, there is the Krishna, like Krishna element is not there. And so therefore we can say that Krishna has nothing to do with Maya at all. He is untouched by Maya, but he still loves us, right? He still loves us. So he wants to take care of this material manifestation, but he cannot do it directly. He does not want to do it directly. Yes, Jagannath Gopal Prabhu, you have a question.
Sorry, complete your train of thought, Prabhu. I didn't want to interrupt you, but
Yeah, so but he loves us so much that he really wants to take he really wants to take care of us, even though we are not abiding by his rules. We are the worst section in the worlds, and so therefore he expands as Mahavishnu. So for example, if there is a CEO of a company, right, he wants to expand his company to another city, will he go to that city? Will he go to the ground? Will he start putting bricks and mortar to build the office? No, he will, he will outsource that construction business to someone. Like similarly, Krishna expands as Mahavishnu, and this is a question for you all. So when Krishna expands as Mahavishnu, what are the specific two activities that he performs?
Actually, now can I
Yes,
ask?
yes, Prabhu.
So this example of taking the trash out,
Yeah.
is it something that Prabhupada wrote or you read somewhere or heard somewhere?
So this was Radhika Raman Prabhu's lecture. I can send it to you, Prabhu.
Acha. Because I have a little bit of a problem with that analogy. I guess
Okay.
more than taking rather than taking the trash out, I guess the better analogy could be, taking care of the naughty kids of the house, it's like taking the trash out means you don't care about the trash, but that's not the case with the naughty souls, so to say. Krishna still cares. So, but yeah. Anyway, just some thoughts. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Like, yeah, it was striking for me also, but maybe I was not able to deliver it properly. The idea what Prabhu Radhika Raman Prabhu was saying is that any house chore, like for example, if you want to wash dishes, right, you can always outsource it. It's not that important as it is important to take care of a child, right? So he was just taking that contrast between two type of activities.
got it, got it.
So so now, yeah, the question here I have for all of you is, so if Krishna expands as Mahavishnu, what are the two specific activities he performed? He literally performs just two activities, Mahavishnu.
Inhale and exhale.
Yeah, inhale and exhale. That's right. But I would consider it one because he's breathing. So breathing
Sure.
one, and the
Well,
other is
creation and dissolution. Uh, okay.
creation.
Well, that is also in the breathing, but yeah.
Yeah,
And sleeping.
sleeping. Yeah,
Yoga Nidra, I don't know. Yeah.
yeah. That makes sense. Let's say what in relation to the material world, what are the two activities he perform with respect to Maya?
Oh, he impregnates the
Yes,
planets. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's right. That's right. So he literally performs just two activities. One is that he breathes out all the universes, and then he glances on the Prakriti so that to impregnate her with all the souls. Right, so that's it. That's all what Krishna does to create the material world. He does not sit down with a board of directors, discuss about the financial plans. He does not discuss about where the raw materials will come from. He does not discuss about who will build the buildings or anything. He just expands as an expansion and then breathes all the universes out, and then that expansion glances on the Prakriti, and that's how souls are impregnated into this material world, right? So here, yeah. So is that it? Like, do you think like we all are working in corporates, right? We all are working in corporates, and we all know about something about management, right? So do you think that management can go very efficiently if the manager is so aloof? He doesn't care about how the things are working in the project. He doesn't care about, if there is any challenges or not. He just starts it up, and that's it. Will any such kind of management gonna work? Of course not, right? So that kind of management will not work because a manager has to be hands on, and he always checks every now and then to ensure that the things are working fine. So Lord Krishna expands as Shiva. So Lord Krishna, it is said in Srimad Bhagavatam that Lord Shiva, as soon as he sorry Lord Krishna, as soon as he touches Maya, he expands as Shiva, and his expansion as Sadashiv, to be specific, is the in charge for all the interactions with the material activities. So if Prakriti is our mother, if Prakriti is our mother, then Lord Shiva is our father. So therefore, when Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aham Bijam Pradapita, so he's talking about himself being in the position of Sadashiv, that he's the father of the material world. Right. So now the question is, Lord Shiva a demigod? This is also an interesting contrast. So now we've established that Lord Shiva, he is a special expansion for of Lord Krishna for a specific purpose to interact with Prakriti. Lord Krishna has nothing to do with Maya, so whenever he interacts with Maya, it is in the form of Lord Shiva, right? So now the question is Lord Shiva a demigod? What do you think about it? So when I say demigod, I mean that there are so many demigods like Surya, Vayu, Brahma, uh, Rudra, right? So there are so many demigods. And what is the meaning of demigod is that we as a soul, if we perform some pious activities, some yagyas, then we can take their position in future. Like, Indra is always anxious for his position because he feels that somebody else will perform 100 Ashwamedha Yagya and he will get my position. So the question is, can we become Shiva by performing good activities? What do you think about it?
Not Shiva for sure. Sorry, somebody was saying something. Okay, nobody was saying anything.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Uh,
Yeah.
not Shiva, but we can be Rudra.
Yes.
What I know because Rudra is a jiva who is invested with the potency of partial amsha of Lord Shiva.
Yes.
So that one can become, but not Lord Shiva him, like not Sadashiv. Definitely that we can't become because he is not in the category of Jiva Tattva.
Absolutely, Prabhu. So Lord Shiva is Krishna but different. And how can we know about it? So we've already always heard about the uh, analogy of yogurt and milk, but this is during my study for this preparation, Brahma Samhita 554, it actually quotes this example to explain Shiva Tattva. So it is something like this: Kshiram yatha dadi vikara vishesha yoga sanjayate nahi tatha prathag asti heto yah shambhutam api tatha samupaiti karyaj govindamadi purusham tam ham bhajami. So this specifically what it means, Lord Brahma is saying that just as a milk is transformed into curd by the action of acid, but yet the effect of curd is neither the same nor different from its cause, which is milk. So I adore the premier Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. So Lord Krishna is milk. When that milk is touched by Maya, it becomes curd, which is Lord Shiva. So that's the explanation given by Lord Brahma. Right. So the important thing to note over here is that milk can become curd, but curd cannot become milk. Both serve different purposes and both are important in their own way. But milk can become curd, but curd cannot, right? So that's the position of Lord Shiva. And this is the Praman is Lord Brahma saying in Brahma Samhita 554. Yeah, and curd can only come from milk. Yeah, it's always unidirectional. It cannot go back, right? So to understand, and in summary, what we've found is that he is the part of Godhead, Lord Shambhu. Sadashiva specifically. He is the part of Godhead like Vishnu, Narsimha, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, but he is not the supreme. The supreme personality is Krishna, and Sadashiva is expansion of Krishna. So that is the position of Lord Shiva. Any questions, anyone who, if you have for me over here? So I'm also studying. If you feel that I have understood it wrong, then please let me know, because I might be totally wrong, totally off.
No, it's all good, Prabhu. Carry on.
Okay,
Yeah, it's all.
perfect. Thank you. So now the important question: as a devotee, should we worship Lord Shiva? So it's a very controversial subject. Yeah, Nitya madam is asking, is the Shivalinga that's worshipped in the temple is a representate it's a representation of Sadashiv. Hmm. Right. So I might be totally wrong over here, Mataji, but I haven't heard anything from ISKCON devotees about this specific thing. But what I know from outside ISKCON, I don't know, others can correct me, that the Shivlinga is a representation of the uh, union of Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva, where the the souls are injected into this material world. So that is, I believe, I thought that was the glance of Mahavishnu, which becomes Shambhu. I'm not sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah, but I can check on this and let you know, Mataji. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have a concrete answer. If others have any information on this,
I know, just
Jagannath.
just making conjectures based on. So, like I've always heard in Marathi, there's a Kailasvasi, right? Somebody who worships Shiva, and somebody in their house passes away. They say Kailasvasi, blah blah blah, right? So, excuse me. So the aspiration of these Shivalinga worshippers, at least most of them, I don't want to make a generic statement and say everyone, but at least most of them, their aspiration is to go to Kailasa of this world. So I don't think they worship Sadashiv, because Sadashiv is somebody who is beyond Brahman. So if Sadashiv was being worshipped, then there would be discussion about Brahman and how the abode, the real Kailasa abode, the spiritual abode, is beyond Brahma Jyoti. Just, I don't know. I'm a speculator at times, many times, in fact. So I'm just speculating.
It makes sense, Prabhu. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so I'll research about it and I'll let you know on the group. So coming back to the presentation, so I know I just have 5 more minutes. Yeah, I'll try to wrap it up within those. So as a devotee, should we worship Lord Shiva or not? So it's a very tricky thing. Sometimes people say that we should not even go to Shiva temple or any demigod in terms like for worshipping. No. Yes. So exactly, Diya Mataji, she's saying that in my personal opinion, worship of Lord Shiva is not as God or demigod in terms of worshipping to get something in return, but offer obeisances to him as the greatest Vaishnava. Exactly, like we respect him as the greatest Vaishnava, and we do not go to him for some material benedictions. Yes, Jagannath Gopal Guru.
Mm, what do you mean by worship here, Prabhu?
So worship is like offering him fruits, maybe, or just go visiting his temples, accepting prasadam,
That
or
is
maybe
perfectly fine, I think.
yeah, prasadam might be too much. Just offering him prasadam which you offered at home, something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be perfectly fine. Um, as long as you don't tell your uh, seniors who may be antagonistic to Lord Shiva.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But
Right.
um, yeah, I think it also depends on what we mean by worship, and even that worship in what mood we are doing.
Yes.
And like for example, our Kula Devi, like our family goddess, she's a manifestation of Durga Devi. Like so, she's the wife of Lord Shiva. And then whenever we go to India, we try to make it a point to go to her abode, like her place, and that's something that my family does has been doing since generations. We try to do it. It's not always possible, but as much as we can. So then
Right.
we go there, we stay for a day or two. We do a very like we pay for the puja and we are there present when they do the puja and we stand there like for couple of hours. That is how it goes, and
Okay.
then we come out and things like that. So we do that. Now
Yes.
when I got connected to ISKCON and everything, uh, I of course thought have considered giving all that up. But then
Hmm.
I feel that sure, I became a devotee, but then I'm reaping the benefits of my family. I'm
Yes.
reaping the benefits because I am what I am because of the upbringing. A major component of that is my upbringing that my parents gave, right? And
Yes.
since my family has been worshipping them, worshipping this Devi since generations, I can't just fanatically give that up, saying that it's not needed anymore. This is just my take on that. So then
That's
I
perfect.
still go there, and then I pray to her that may I grow closer to Vaishnavas, may I go grow closer to the lotus feet of your Lord Vishnu, right? One of the Aigiri Nandini Nandita Medini Vishwa Vinodini Nandanute Girivara Vindhya Shirodi Nivasini Vishnu Vilasini Jishnunute. So even like Parvati Devi, she is known as Vishnu Vilasini. She pleases Lord Vishnu, right? So like
Right.
that, I try to do it like that. I try to worship her in the mood of a Vaishnava. So I think, but again, I mean, I haven't faced anyone till now who says that, oh, you should stop doing that or anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. So
uh,
you'll be very happy to know the answer to this question, Prabhu. It's very nice and you're doing the right thing. So from materialistic person's perspective also, like uh, should we worship Shiva, and what is the intention we are worshipping him, that matters a lot. So there is a spiritual world and there is a material world, right? Spiritual world, Krishna is in charge. He has the keys to the spiritual world. And in the material world, because our father, the caretaker of the prakriti of the material manifestation, is Lord Shiva. So Shiva is actually in control, in charge of the material world. So if you want to be free from the cycle of uh, birth and death, then definitely you would like to worship Krishna and you'll ask for him, his mercy, so that you can escape this life, this cycle of birth and death. But on the other hand, Lord Shiva cannot give you that. What he can give you is that he can give you a very comfortable life. Being, the owner or the head of the government who manages the correction department, the prison house, he can give you a very comfortable prison cell. He can upgrade you to the business class uh, facilities. He can give you a TV, he can give you a microwave, he can give you a bigger cell, he can give you a cell where you are not sharing your prison with anyone, right? He can make your life very easy. But if that is what you are seeking, then you know Shivji can give you all of that and all of that. But now for devotees, for devotees or for anyone, there have been instances in the past. For example, when we approach Lord Krishna, he intelligently gives us boon, right? So for example, I have an example over here, so let me show both the examples. So there is one example of Shiva devotee, Ravana. He was exemplary. He composed, I suppose, Tandav Stotam. I'm not sure about it, but yeah. So he composed that verse for the glorification of Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was so pleased with him. that he gave him a lot of boons, right? So but at the end of the day he was materialistic. He wanted to have everything of this material world, and he wanted to be the proprietor of this world. But eventually that didn't give him liberation, right? What gave him, on the other hand, we see when Lord Shiva actually is happy with a person, um, so he leads them to his devotee. So, for example, leads them to Krishna's devotees. For example, there was this story which was told by someone, I don't recall the source, but the Lord Shiva, there was a trader who was very ardent follower of Lord Shiva. He worshipped Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva gave him darshan. So Lord Shiva came and he asked, "What do you want?" So he said that, "I want the most precious thing that you have." So he said that, "Okay, for that most precious thing, to get that most precious thing, you should go to Sanatan Goswami, who's in Vrindavan, and he will give you that." So he goes to Sanatan Goswami, the trader goes to Sanatan Goswami, and he asks that, "I was sent by Lord Shiva, please give me the something with some money or something which was very dear to Lord Shiva, which he has given to you." So Sanatan Goswami gives him a paras money. Paras money is touchstone. It touches anything and it turns to gold. So this trader was very happy. He said that, "Now I am the richest man on the earth. I can touch everything and convert it into gold, and I'll be happy." But then he saw that Sanatan Goswami actually picked the parasmani from a dustbin and then offered him the parasmani. So he thought that, okay, if Sanatan Goswami is offering me parasmani, which is lying in his dustbin, that means he's not giving me something which is most precious to him. So then he asked Sanatan Goswami that, Sadhu, you are cheating me. Give me what is most precious to you. So Sanatan Goswami says that, okay, for that you will first have to take this money and throw it in Yamuna and then come back to me. So the trader with a heavy heart goes to Yamuna and with high hopes throws it away. The money goes in Yamuna somewhere, and he comes back to Sanatan Goswami and he says, "Okay, what is the most precious thing you have?" And the trader and Sanatan Goswami then tells the trader that the most precious thing in my life is Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema. And it was very hard for him to digest initially, but then with association of Sanatan Goswami, he became a very perfected Vaishnava. So that's how Lord Shiva directed this materialistic merchant to Krishna Bhakti, right? So now, what is the problem in approaching Lord Shiva for benedictions? Right. So there is a caveat, a great risk for devotees as well as for non-devotees who are worshipping Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is known as Ashutosh. He is very easily pleased and he will grant you boons without even thinking twice. For example, if you recall the story of Bhasmasur, he actually forced Lord Shiva to grant him boon wherein he can put his hand on anyone and that person will explode, right? Will burn to ashes, right? And after getting that boon, he wanted to check his boon on Lord Shiva himself, right? And that made Lord Shiva run everywhere, and Bhasmasur was running behind Lord Shiva to test his boon. But that's how Shiva, by giving boon, got himself into a problem. And then at that point of time, Mohini Murti avatar of Lord Vishnu comes in, and he like Mohini Murti was an enchantress. She made Bhasmasur lose his mind, and then she asked Bhasmasur that, "Why don't you try your boon on your head?" And then Bhasmasur put his hand on his head and he's gone. So right, so from this instance we can see that Lord Shiva is very easy to please and he can give boons very easily, but we don't know what is good for us. And this can be a huge problem for devotees. If we go to Lord Shiva and ask for some material opulence or something else, then he might grant that, but that might take us away from Lord Krishna. That might take us away from the purpose of life, right? So this is my last slide. Sorry, I'm 6 minutes up. I'll just finish it, wrap it up very soon. So now, Still, it is recommended to please Lord Shiva. Why? Because he is the greatest of all devotees. And for all the devotees, it is very important to please him, right? Because number one, the he is the person who has the keys to the prison house. If we please him, he will open the gate. He will open the gate and we can get out of the material world. But it is not enough. We need to please Krishna also, who has the key to the spiritual world. So once we please Krishna, then he will open the gate and accept us into the spiritual world. So to exit from material world, mercy of Lord Shiva is very important. And how can we please Lord Shiva? So he himself said in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 24th chapter, 28th verse, the translation is, Lord Shiva continued, any person who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the controller of everything, material nature as well as the living entity, is actually very dear to me. So basically, if we are sincere in our practice to Lord Krishna, if we are um, honestly moving towards Krishna, making efforts to please him, then we don't have to worry about pleasing Lord Shiva separately. It comes in one package. We don't have to follow two masters. By pleasing one master, everything is satisfied. Right. So, in summary, how should we see Lord Shiva? So, yeah, so this is also very important thing, that the most intolerable thing for a devotee is when you consider him his Lord. So if you tell Lord Shiva that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and there is no one above you, so he might get really angry. Like for example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was playing the role of a devotee. So whenever somebody used to tell him that you are Krishna, so he used to, close his ears and run away from there, because he didn't want to listen such kind of words in that role, in that specific role. Similarly, Shiva is also playing a role as a servant of Lord Krishna, as an expansion of Lord Krishna. So him being treated as Krishna himself would be an offense, right? So in summary, sorry. Yeah. So seeing Shiva and Vishnu as equal is considered offensive. We know from the 10 offenses, but seeing them different is also considered offensive. There is a beautiful lecture by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu on this specific line. You can search about it. It's very amazing. So he says that you cannot consider them equal as well as different. So that's where Achintya Bheda Ved philosophy comes in. Okay, so that is it, dear devotees. I hope whatever I told you was helpful to understand the glories of Lord Shiva. I assume 30-45 minutes was not sufficient to speak about him, but yeah, that is it. Please forgive me for any offenses or any misinformation that I might have given. And feel free to chastise me and correct me if you feel something was wrong. I'm still learning and researching about the intricacies of these glorious personalities. So,
This was just amazing, Prabhu. Very nice. Thank you very much. Comprehensive slides, comprehensive research work, and even the way you depicted everything, brought out relevant questions. It's just amazing, and I'm pretty sure everybody echoes this. Yeah, Gaur Kumar Prabhu is saying very comprehensive class, Prabhu, with very thought-provoking questions. Love the slides very much. Thanks so much for the research and the examples and the love you put in preparing for this class. 100%. Mataji, Nitya Mataji says, did not look like you pulled this up in the last minute at all. Great research and effort in giving us the Tattva of Lord Shiva. Absolutely. So, thank you very much, Sankirtanacharya Prabhu. This was too good. Just one last addition. You mentioned, right, what is the most intolerable thing for a devotee? So, Brahmatirtha Prabhu, Bob Cohen, he's the uh, asker of questions in the book Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers. So he gives Bhagavatam class regularly in Bhakti Center as well.
oh,
So I was hearing one of his clips recently. So somebody asked him what was the thing that angered Prabhupada the most.
yes.
And then he said that, nothing really angered Prabhupada a lot. He would just get over that anger quickly. But then one thing he would really hold on to, he said. Prabhupada would really hold on to one particular anger. So then he said that was when somebody said that he was Krishna.
Mm,
So that Prabhupada would find it like totally intolerable. And
mm,
he gave that example of those four sannyasis who started preaching that Prabhupada is Krishna and how Prabhupada threw them out of the movement. And then when they apologized and agreed to not spread that false philosophy, uh, Prabhupada took them back into the movement. So yeah, that is like a common trait in pure devotees. Very strongly, they are against being equated with Krishna. So, yeah.
perfect. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, Nitya Mataji said that she just heard this today in a lecture. Govind Prabhu's lecture, that's what GKB is saying. Perfect. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Should we close it?
Yeah.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
अनंत कोटि
अनंत
वैष्णव
कोटि
वृंद की जय, श्रील
जय
प्रभुपाद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, हिज ग्रेस संकीर्तन आचार्य प्रभु की जय।